Hi, welcome to Wow Church. It's coming up to the summer festival season, and if you're lucky enough to be going to a festival, party or club, this video offers some advice about how to have a good, fun and safe time. In this video we have Fiona questioning Luke, manager of a world-renowned fabric nightclub in London.
Okay, so Luke, you've been managing Fabric Nightclub for 8 years?
Just about, yeah.
Just about. Festivals, how many festivals in your entire life, given that you're not that old, how many have you been to altogether?
Ooh, I would say licensed festivals, maybe 20, 25. Unlicensed festivals, many, many more. When I was much younger, licensed festivals weren't affordable for me. So I went to events in woods, farmers' fields, secluded bits of beach, warehouses, squat parties, anywhere really.
Okay, so were they more as a festival goer? Have you done other had other roles at festivals as well?
Yes, I've worked as security at festivals, I've done bar security, I've been an observer or mystery shopper type person as well, and also Fabric have put on stages within festivals in my time there, and I've been there observing that as well.
So you kind of experienced the festival thing from lots of different
angles, yes.
Different angles. So, what was the best?
As a party goer, I would say Global Gathering 2005.
Oh, okay.
That was possibly one of the best weekends of my life.
Why was that? I
was with the right people, it was DJs I liked, it was my first proper festival, as in the biggest one I've been to at that stage. And it was all music I was into.
So what's the worst?
I would say Global Gathering 2006.
Oh, that's really disappointing.
It is really disappointing. I didn't go with the same group of friends. I went with one other friend because we got let down, and that other friend hooked up with an old flame. It rained. There was an awful lot of bad things that happened across that weekend, and it just wasn't the best experience.
So 2 top tips there to start off with. 1 is go with the right people.
Yep.
2 is sort out the weather.
Yes, or plan. I didn't plan.
Plan for the weather.
Yes, didn't look beforehand.
That's the thing. There's not such thing as bad weather. There's just a thing as bad clothing or something.
Yes.
That's the same. So, in terms of staying safe at festivals this summer, because the festival season started already, what's some really basic advice that you'd give to the first-time festival goer? Just haven't done this before, don't know what to expect. What's a good kind of baseline top tips?
Firstly, whoever you're going with, look after your friends. You know them best. So if you stay with your friends, you spend a lot of time with them, don't get split up while you're in the festival. Make sure you're at least with one other person at all times. And then it's just a case of gauging what the festival's like. Every festival I've been to, bar a couple, have been very friendly. But make sure you stay with your friends, because there could be people there that are not as friendly. And
what if you do get separated? Because I imagine it's quite easy to do, especially if you're dancing.
No, of course. I would say first thing that we always do is we have a look at the map. We work out if we're camping, where we're camping, what's near it. It's like an orientation. Just work out where everything is.
So when you get there first, work out where everything is.
Yep, and then we decide if we get split up, this is where we're meeting. Yeah. Be it a bar, be it outside one of the arenas, be it the welfare area, the info point, wherever it may be.
And good to check out where the welfare area is and the medical tent and all that kind of thing.
Yes, very much so. And there will be, at most festivals, there will be some help available to you, be it an info point or welfare, medics, whatever it may be. Make sure you know where they are and how to get there.
And can you assume that your mobile phone's going to work?
Assume it doesn't.
Assume it doesn't.
Yeah, exactly. If you can imagine what it's like at train stations with a lot of people, you can't get signal. Yeah. Multiply that by 10,000 people, 20,000 people, or Glastonbury, many, many more, with no mobile phone receptors or antennas in the area, you're not going to be able to use your phone.
And I've heard it's quite a good tip to take a really rubbishy old phone that isn't a smartphone, uses loads of battery. Yes, if you've got a
smartphone is going to be permanently trying to get signal, so if it can't, the battery's just going to drain. Whereas an old sort of text call phone isn't going to be wanting to do that, so the battery will last longer. Also, working at festivals, the amount of phones I see that are lost is phenomenal. Certainly my experience, me and my friends, we lose stuff. Everyone loses stuff, especially if you're in a crowd. Don't take something that's up to £500–600 that when you could take something that's £10.
And is that genuinely losing stuff, or do people get nicked?
There's both. From what I've seen at festivals, far more people lose things than get stolen. Yeah, but there are festivals and events where phone thieves will actively go in to make money.
And that's another tip, I suppose, in terms of valuables. What would you not take?
I would take as little as possible. Obviously, you need your wallet, you need some money, your train ticket home, or however you're getting home. But I certainly wouldn't be taking anything that I didn't have to.
And what should people expect? What should young people expect in terms of what they might see or come across in terms of drugs and alcohol at festivals? The average festival.
Average festival, well, alcohol is going to be widely available. That's how festivals make their money. It's going to be
expensive.
Can be. Having looked at different festivals, they're obviously not as cheap as getting it from a supermarket, but it's roughly what you'd expect to pay in a club. Okay. So it's expensive without being astronomical. There will be quite often coffee stalls, catering, things like that as well. There may even be, if you're camping, an opportunity to buy a case of drink, beers, whatever it may be, to take back to the campsite. But you will also find they also offer free tap water. I'd find out where that is straight away.
Important point. Yeah.
Yes.
So when you're doing your initial navigation,
yeah,
under the tap water, take a big bottle.
Take a big bottle, or you'll get a cup or whatever it may be from the festival.
Yeah. Okay. And in terms of drugs, just last night, I had mum was messaging me whose boys had been at a festival at the weekend. He was saying there was just loads and loads of drugs everywhere.
The likelihood is you are going to see someone either taking drugs, under the effect of drugs, someone's going to offer drugs. The likelihood is it's going to happen. Every festival I've been to, I've seen drugs there.
So in terms of kind of heads up and being prepared, what kind of situations or what kind of ways might you be offered something if you were going to?
Mostly you'll just have someone coming up asking, do you want this, do you want that? My advice would be never buy anything in a festival, ever. Because?
I mean, not if it's a good place ever to buy stuff, but a festival particularly is more risky.
It's more risky just because these people have gone to great lengths to smuggle them inside the festival. You don't know what's in them. In terms of the harm reduction advice to people who do take drugs is to use a trusted supplier. These people you've just met, so they're not a trusted supplier. On top,
they don't want to be either, do they? Particularly, they just want to sell stuff that weekend. They don't need your repeat business.
Oh, not at all.
So they really, really don't care.
They're there to make money.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. And they may not be real. They may have contaminants in them. You just don't know. And then on top of that, some of the drugs that have been tested at festivals so far this year have had dangerously high levels of MDMA certainly in them. Yeah. Anything up to 4 times the overdose amount in one pill.
And of course there were the terrible news just it was 3 weekends ago, wasn't it, from Mutiny Festival where those 2 young people died.
That's
from ecstasy. And since then there's been a lot of headlines and the Loop has been busy. Do you want to tell us a little bit about what the Loop does?
Well, the Loop is a harm reduction advice service around drugs, alcohol and sexual health. They conduct a lot of drug testing within various sites all over the country. They will offer at certain festivals the opportunity for their drugs to be tested so they can actually find out what's in them. And then if that could be, for example, if I had some drugs on me, I could go into their tent completely with amnesty. They could test what I've got. They wouldn't give me back what I give them to test, but a little bit or whatever I gave them, but they tell me what was in it as best they can. For example, the things there could be anything in there. So any contaminants, how strong it is, and what that effect is likely to be. They'll then give a counselling session with that person and just go through what harms could come from that.
Because of course knowing what's in it isn't enough to make it safe.
No, not at all.
Or unsafe for that matter, but knowing, you need to know what you do with that information? There's a whole lot more you have to do to stay safe.
Oh, very much so. It's all these home testing kits I'm really not a fan of.
Yeah, they give such a false sense of security.
They do, because yes, it's got MDMA, it's got no pollutants in it, if we're talking about pills, but how much MDMA?
Yeah.
Then with MDMA, how much is too much?
Yes.
And then it's different from my body shape and size to yours to anyone else's.
And in a different time and place, something will affect you differently.
Correct. Correct. Then it's a case of how much have you been dancing? So if you're dancing, you're dehydrated, you've lost a lot of the electrolytes within your body. You then take water on, but you're not taking on electrolytes. That's just as dangerous.
Lots and lots of information you need. So the Loop are doing all of that around that harm reduction.
Yes.
So a tip in terms of drugs is if you are at a festival where they're there and you're with anyone that's taking anything, get them along to that tent. If
the Loop are at a festival and you're with someone who's taking drugs, go and see them.
And if they're not there, then anyone that's taking anything needs to know that they're testing it on themselves, really.
Pretty much, yes. Yeah. Well, with any drug, you will be testing it on yourselves. If I ask the Loop to test one pill, that doesn't mean the rest of the batch are the same. No. You can never assume any pill or any drugs are safe.
Yeah, yeah. What would be your top bits of advice to young people? I mean, at festivals specifically we're thinking about, but I mean, it would be similar advice across the board really in terms of, I guess, top safety tips, harm reduction tips with things that you've seen, because you'll have seen some pretty stupid things going on in terms of drugs particularly.
Drugs and alcohol. I would say a festival or going out generally, it's not a short time. You don't have to go 100 miles an hour from the off. Pace yourself. A festival could be 4 or 5 days. So if you're going to a festival, you want to make sure you're enjoying it for 4 or 5 days. Yeah. Certainly with alcohol and with drugs, if you're going to consume anything there, you start low, go slow. Certainly with drugs, you can, if you're going to take drugs, you can always take more, but you can't extract anything you've already taken, if that makes sense. For more, it's there, and there's nothing you can do after that point. I mean, for more information, I'd suggest checking out the Loop's website, look at their Crush Dab Weight campaign. They can explain it far better than I can.
And the Loop also did some really good videos last summer with Vice.
Safe Sesh, yeah.
They're worth looking for specific substances in terms of harm reduction.
Yes, certainly. There's one video that we've shared recently on our social media, what Super Strength XC actually does to you. Yeah. So in terms of the Loop and the Vice and all of their work, it will just tell you what it does. There's no slant, there's no angle, it's just purely they want to help people and reduce harm. Yeah. Every single instance I've seen of someone coming to harm, it's because they've taken too much.
Or not known that they were taking
Correct.
too much or something else. And of course the bottom line with all of the harm reduction advices, or top line, bottom line, middle of all of it really is that the only way of reducing drug-related risk to zero is not to take.
Correct.
Because you can never rule that out.
You can never rule it out. If you have an underlying heart problem that you don't know about, yeah. And then you take a stimulant that's raising your heart rate to 150, 180, 200 beats per minute, yeah. That could be serious problems. Yeah. You may not know. So yes, the only way to be completely safe is to not take them.
So look out for your mates, make sure you know stuff, be aware of the risks.
Yep.
Off the subject of drugs and alcohol,
yep.
Just to finish on a more cheerful note, what's your top tips without drugs and alcohol, having a great time at the festival? For
me, it's always been who I've gone with.
Okay, so that's the first tip, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's the first tip. It's whenever I've been at events, the people having the best time are clearly with their friends. They know each other, they're comfortable with each other, they're used to spending long amounts of time with each other without arguing. That is quite a big thing, especially if you do spend a lot of time and you're dancing and you're perhaps tired the next morning, there's going to be a bit of friction. So it's being with a group of friends that can get through that. Other things I'd say is make sure you're comfortable where you're going. For example, do you like the music? Is there anything else you want to go to? Is it If it's too busy, is there a quiet area you can go to within that event? If it's not busy enough, do you want to go and get involved at the front of the main stage? It's whatever you want to do to feel comfortable. Ultimately, you want to go and enjoy yourself. That's why you're there. Yeah. So make it as easy as possible to do that.
So, good friends, good music, you'll have a good time. Yeah. Even if it's raining.
Sometimes, especially if it's raining.
Okay. Take your wellies.
Yes. Well, yeah. Well, that's another. You plan ahead. If you're expecting a downpour over the weekend, don't take flip-flops, shorts and t-shirt. But then on the flip side, if it's going to be an absolute heat wave, don't take jumper, jeans and boots. So,
do you want the sun cream?
Very much so.
Water. So, if you could only take one thing in your bag to a festival, what would it be? Is that a possible question to ask?
It depends what I'm doing. If I'm working, pack lunch. Just because if you're so busy, you just need to have something you just eat as and when.
No, you're going to stand in this queue for ages for a burger.
Exactly. But if I was, it would depend on the event. If I was going camping, I'd make sure I had toilet roll.
Right, that's a good tip. Loo roll.
Yeah.
Yeah. And don't assume they'll be very clean toilets either. If you're an antiseptic person, take your antiseptic wipes.
Yes, I'd say it's hit and miss.
On that note, thank you very much, Luke. Thanks for your tips. And to everybody out there, from both of us, really just have a great summer. Enjoy yourself, stay safe.